Колеги, доброго ранку.
Dear colleagues, good morning. Ukrainian Crisis Media Center starts its working day, and we now give the floor. We are giving the floor to the spokesman of ATO, Major Anton Miranovich. Good morning, dear friends. I'm glad to see you at our Crisis Media Center. According to the annual national program of Ukraine-NATO cooperation for 2015, the Ministry of Defense took part in 157 events. The Ukraine-NATO annual national cooperation programs are a key systemic document for cooperation development with this organization and is an important instrument for reforming Ukraine under the support of the alliance. The document sets forth midterm goals and priority objectives for the current year, as well as specific activities directed on strengthening cooperation with NATO, achieving the criteria required for preparing Ukrainian membership with the alliance. As of the the beginning of December, 125 of the planned events have been completed. That is 81% by the year end. It is planned to complete 24 more activities. The world's community keep providing support to Ukrainian armed forces. These days, Ukrainian diaspora in the USA sent the next batch of medical equipment to Kiev military hospital. In particular, their biometric and diagnostic equipment, as well as expendable materials. The received equipment and supplies cost about $650,000 US dollars. The first 40-feet long container with medical equipment came to Odessa Military Hospital at the end of last month. Thanks to the U.S. Embassy support, the children and relatives of ATO soldiers who died could came to the USA for rest and rehabilitation. The civil military cooperation teams continue to provide support at the contact line. This week, the military servicemen provided medical kits and food stuff to the military servicemen at the strongholds near Marienka, which is in the Donetsk direction. The civil population in this village received winter weather clothing. The servicemen also delivered press materials to Kurakhova, Maximyalivka, Marienka, Krasnogorivka, Grigorivka, Verkhnotaretskaya, and Novgorodskaya. The military engineers continue demanding the territories which are freed from the terrorists. During the last week, in the territory of Lugansk and Donetsk region, 1.5 thousand explosives devices were identified and neutralized. During that time, the ATO sappers neutralized over 26,000 explosive devices which the occupants left in our territory. The armed forces of Ukraine who take part in ATO are entitled to monetary remuneration. The soldiers, according to the resolution of the Cabinet of Ministers are entitled to remuneration. 21,230 military men received remunerations for the total amount of 95 millions and 67,000 hryvnias, including 4 million hryvnias for successful completion of combat tasks, over 90 millions for direct participation in military actions, and 779,000 hryvnias for the destroyed military equipment of the enemy. Also, according to the documents, within the next period, 1,369,000 hryvnia of remunerations will be paid soon in the Ministry of Defense, according to the presidential order. The proposals have been reviewed to increase the remunerations to military men, jointly with other agencies and ministries. Reforming of monetary remunerations of military men is now on the way. According to the proposals, the amounts of remunerations will grow significantly. For example, a contract-based military man will get salary of 7,000 hryvnias. A lieutenant will get 9,000 hryvnias. A captain will get 10.5 thousand hryvnias. The Ministry of Defense keeps activities on providing ATO status to soldiers which took part in combats. Thank you for your attention, and now I am giving the floor to Major Anton Miranovich, who will update you on the dynamics of hostilities in ATO zone in the last 3 days. Good morning, Mr. Miranovich. Could you update us on the dynamics of hostilities? Before I will speak on the topic of dynamics of hostilities in the ATO zone, I would like to characterize the situation which took place this night. During this night, the militants about 40 times violated the ceasefire. They keep firing the ATO positions in the district of temporarily occupied Donetsk. In particular, they used small arms, heavy machine guns, and grenade launchers of different systems. They fired on Opytne, Pisky, Novgorodsk, Krasnogorivka. In Krasnogorivka, the militants fired on our positions. They also used heavy machine guns to fire. They fired from 120 millimeter caliber mortars and shelled also mines from 82 millimeter caliber mortars near Zaitsevo. During the last night, the enemy used heavy machine guns, grenade launchers, and the sniper worked on the positions of the militants. The information about any losses among Ukrainian soldiers during the last night, we didn't receive some information. In general, by the moment, the situation in the ATO area remained tense. However, it is stable and completely controlled by our defenders. In particular, during the last 3 days, the militants many times used heavy artillery units. On Tuesday, December 8th, the Russian-backed terrorists 3 times opened fire from multiple rocket launchers Grad on the village of Zorane from Staromikhailivka. Besides that, on December 8, in Verkhnotoretsk, the hostile tank conducted fire, and in Pisky, self-propelled artillery piece was used. The next day, December 9, the militants of Russian-backed military formations fired from Grad on Kurakhivka and from tank on Krasnogorivka. Yesterday, on December 10th, from the start of the day, they twice fired on Shirokina from 122 millimeter artillery units. This cases evidences that the military formations and units of Russian-backed forces do not keep to their promises, and they have not withdrawn the heavy weapons from the contact line. Besides that, the enemy does not stop shelling on the positions of our army from other types of weaponry, small arms, anti-aircraft guns, armored personnel vehicle weaponry, and grenade launchers of other systems. During the last 3 days, the militants conducted 175 shellings on the ATO positions, on the ATO forces positions, and on peaceful settlements and infrastructure facilities. On Tuesday there were 59 shellings, on Wednesday 52, and the large number of fire incidents took yesterday. It was 64 incidents. I would like to remind about the tragic event which happened the day before yesterday, December 9th, in the suburbs of the village of Opitne, which is just close to the Donetsk airport. One infantry vehicle blown up because it tripped on mine. Thank you, Mr. Miranovich. Dear colleagues, our